It's a trap!
So during my isolation, into which I slowly descend into madness while watching Netflix, I decided to check out Netflix's most recent anime, which is BEASTARS, and I gotta say, it was more than I expected, because when I first saw the title, I thought it was going to be like an anthropomorphic animals where they were just getting it on and so on, but the show was pretty much more of an adult version of Zootopia because it deals with a lot more elements and a lot more problems that we face in the real world, but it pretty much answers the question that everybody's been asking: do you give in to your impulses or do you control them and keep them hidden? The show kind of stuck to me because this show kind of helped me a bit when I was going through phases with my emotions and whatnot, because I'm the type of person that gets really emotional and I can't really control how I feel, or in this case, I don't know how to express my emotions in a way unless it's writing or pretty much doing YouTube videos. The show kind of really stuck with me on this one, and the way they executed it was pretty genius. And before we get right into it, let me go ahead and pretty much say before watching this, I know this is based off of a manga. I just never read the manga before. I'm not gonna do any comparisons between this and the manga, except probably once. But other than that, I'm not gonna go ahead and pretty much try to compare this to the manga. This is my personal experience, my personal thoughts on this anime, how I feel about it, what message I got from it. For me, whether you agree with it, whether you don't agree with it, you can leave it down in the comments below, but this is basically my take on the anime. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the show is about a gray wolf named Lugoshi. I think I say this name right. Lugoshi? Yeah, like that. Who is your typical wallpaper protagonist who is kind of a loner. Because one, he doesn't really talk to anybody, and two, no herbivore wants to talk to him because, like Zootopia, carnivores are bad. Then one day he meets a dwarf rabbit named Haru, who has not the best reputation in the school.
Gone, fuck!
But she's not your typical, oh, I wish for the love of my life to appear one day type of character. Well, she's more sassy and she's more funny in some scenes, and I kind of liked her for that one. And when I said meat, I meant his wolf instincts kicked in as soon as he got a whiff of her scent and he was about to eat her.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, this is sort of a love story to where you decide whether to love your food or eat your food. Enjoy!
First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
But all joking aside, the show's focus is on Lugoshi and how he feels towards Haru and where their interactions with each other takes them. It's like at one point you want to see if they'll get together, see them overcome their animalistic instincts to actually try to be in a relationship, but then it makes you realize that the idea of a rabbit and a wolf being in a relationship is a very risky thing, especially since the show has made that clear many uncomfortable times. Hell, it's even been noted that there were carnivores that did try to be in a relationship with herbivores, and that their love winded up turning to anger because of the fact that their instincts became so strong that they winded up devouring their loved ones. So yeah, the show, it's dark as f, but you can see that Lugo really wants to be with Haru, and then when she develops feelings for him, you start to see that these two really like each other and that they pretty much want to be together. But maybe their relationship will get better, maybe it'll pretty much evolve in the next season. If there is going to be a next season, I think there's going to be a next season. I mean, come on now, this thing has gotten so much hype even like months after it was on Netflix, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's still getting hype. But in all honesty, I was actually enjoying these two, and I actually think they had some really good chemistry, as well as all the other different characters that come onto the show. Like there's Rui, who's a red deer that is a candidate for being crowned the Beastar, which is where our title has come from, which I guess is the highest honor at their school, I guess. And you can see that Rui is pretty much like the stereotypical arrogant rich kid that everyone looks up to, and that he looks down on everybody else. And throughout the beginning of the series, you can see that he's so full of himself and that he's pretty much always challenging other carnivores and whatnot. But later on, it's revealed the reason why he's pretty much like this, and that's because of the fact that he's insecure and that he's afraid, because of the fact that he lacks strength, and because of the fact that he's a herbivore. He's afraid afraid to pretty much be like, you know, the next on the platter, as well as having a traumatizing past. But I'm not gonna go into that. I'm just gonna let you watch the series so you can see exactly where I'm coming from, because it gets really dark. And also it's revealed that there's a love triangle between these three characters. Only thing I can say is that it's still better than Twilight. That's all I gotta say. I can deal with the love triangle bullshit as long as it's better than Twilight. That's my only thing on this one. And later we're introduced to another character who I'm gonna be honest, she's pretty annoying in the series, and she's just there. She doesn't really serve a purpose. I guess from what I can see, she doesn't really serve a purpose. This character's name is Juno, and she's another gray wolf from the series who later falls in love with Lugo. She started falling in love with him head over heels, and then best way I can describe her character is, you know that trope in like certain TV shows to where the girl becomes obsessive with the guy. The guy knows that she has a thing for him, but he doesn't really like her the same way, you know, like Tootie from the Fairly Odd Parents. This is the anime wolf version of Tootie. That's all. She serves nothing to the plot. She just serves as more the girl who wants to get the guy, but the guy has feelings for somebody else, and she can't deal with that, so she makes it into a competition. Oh, that's all I'm getting out of this character, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's gonna keep doing this in season 2. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if she winds up being the next big bad guy in season 2. I don't know, but the series touches on a couple of things as well to be expected, like prejudices and judging a book by its cover, because again, Zootopia did the same thing. But then there's a lot of messed up shit like in the beginning of the series that pretty much jump started the whole thing, which is watching a classmate murdered and eaten by a carnivore. But it gets way worse, so much worse, when it gets to the scene with the black market where carnivores go there to buy meat of herbivores. Dude, there was like one scene that actually gave me nightmare fuel, and it's when they were in the back alleys, and then there was this old goat, and he was pretty much trying to sell something. And then you're probably saying, okay, what's he trying to sell? It turns out he was trying to sell his fingers. He was literally charging carnivores to eat his fingers. What? His actual fingers? What in the man? Like, I'm sitting here trying to figure out, so you tell me this is a world where there's a black market where carnivores can eat the meat of other animals, and you know, we already established that we live in a world where, you know, they coexist. Like, dude, this whole thing gets really dark, and that's where it gets me to, where I pretty much said that it covers a lot of things that is probably going on in real life that we don't always think about. But then it's like, when it's being told in this perspective with animals and shit, that's when the message hits hard, and you're like, oh my god, like, dude, for real? I can honestly say that, like, I thought that Devilman Crybaby was deep. This one though, it hit home for me. I'm sorry, Devilman Crybaby is still my favorite anime, but this one just literally took me by surprise. I actually enjoyed it. But hey, if you can get past all the dark stuff, and if you pretty much interested in this show and whatnot, I recommend you watch it. I honestly, when I first started watching the show, I thought the CGI was gonna drive me nuts, because the last time I actually watched an anime series with CGI, it was 2016's Berserk, and that was the biggest goddamn train wreck I have ever watched in my entire life. But honestly, that is something that needs to be forgotten. But this show, the CG, even with the CGI, it is definitely a must watch. I recommend it. Please, if you have the time, and if you see BEASTARS on Netflix, and if you are trying to look for the next anime to watch, please give this one a try. I highly recommend it. I give it 2 thumbs up. I enjoy this show. But anyway, guys, that's all I got to say about BEASTARS. What did you think about it? Do you have anything that you want to add to it? What do you think about the show? Do you think it's going to get a second season? Or if you don't like anything about the show, please leave it down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button in order to pretty much, like, you know, show how much you love the video and whatnot. And also, don't forget to share it around to your friends. I'm open to opinions. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, so that way you can pretty much be notified for when I have new videos coming out. But anyway, guys, I'm Crazy Kent. I'm out of here. Peace.